do not quit your life and lose your ambitions because you have a family. One thing I've observed over the years is people or women really losing themselves in their ambitions or their career because they have a family. If you want to stay at home and be a full-time mom and that's what your passion is, I am all for that. I think that is an amazing path and an awesome purpose. But if you want to keep going down your career, or you're very passionate about what you do, or you have a bigger purpose for some sort of other venture or business venture, I think it's really sad when people kind of give that up because they have kids. You do not have to give up the life that you're living just because you started to have a family. I've observed this and it makes me sad, not just amongst women too, amongst men. Like I see when men start having kids and their entire ambitions and responsibilities or what they feel that they need to do changes. And obviously, same with women. And I just am of the opinion that you can very much continue to live your life, achieve your ambitions while having a family. And your children actually appreciate being incorporated into your life as opposed to you revolving your entire life around your kids. There's a lot of misery in the now I'm supposed to mentality. And I think that people should be able to obviously be responsible, but continue to dream or go on adventures or do whatever it is that you and your partner, or if you're single, like what you want to do and accomplish can still be done with children. And I think that whole social framework that is pressuring you into living a certain way or being a certain way or being a certain type of parent or having to have kids by a certain time in this day and age is just really antiquated and doesn't actually result in being successful or happy. If you lose your identity in having kids, you will end up resenting them and being miserable, giving up your dreams, and not being a powerful leader that they need you to be. I'm Meg Epstein. I'm a real estate developer and also a mom. Newly, I had no children 18 months ago. I have an 18-month-old, a 9-month-old, a 10-day-old, and I'm pregnant. And I can just say that I'm doing all of that successfully by folding them into all of my normal CEO activities. So at work, we just broke ground on 2 new projects. There's over 250 million in dispositions. I'm going into other markets. I'm launching a new outdoor storage platform. I'm still doing a lot of philanthropic work. So I feel like I've successfully learned to balance having a family with still having a successful career and achieving my life goals. I have observed that when people have kids, they end up telling themselves that they can't do whatever it is that they were on the path to do or dreaming about because they're supposed to be a better parent. And that goes for both men and women. I just don't think that it requires you to give up your dreams or give up your career or give up your life purpose having children. My husband and I have adopted 2 children now. Both times we get a call totally out of nowhere where we literally have to get on a plane or drop everything because the baby that we're adopting is being born. And the first time, before I had any parenting skills, when we adopted our first son, Hank, I think I was in San Diego at a conference, at a big, huge multi-conference. I had 10 meetings lined up with investors every single day. And I was told that a mom already had the baby. He's in the hospital. We have to run over there. Okay, so drop everything. I finished up my meetings while my husband got to the hospital, did all the paperwork. We kind of balanced it, him and I, and we got there, started it. And then I had to shuffle certain conferences and meetings, of course. Amazoned a bunch of stuff to our house, had no diapers, no crib, nothing. Had our assistant set up a nursery out of nowhere instantaneously and just kept it going right. And I remember being in the NICU with Hank and being in the middle of closing a big project. And one of the things when you're first taking a preemie baby home or even wanting to bond as a new mom that you didn't birth the baby is having to hold them and spending time with them. Well, I would just sit in the hospital with Hank on my chest for hours at a time with my laptop and get my work done and really keep the ball rolling forward while we were going through this adoption. And I think most people would probably just drop everything. And I think I did both. And I was so happy I did because I think I got that deal done or whatever. And Hank is obviously thriving. I don't think he notices, and I'm on my laptop when he's 30 weeks old and sitting on my stomach. So that's just an example of how we kind of like continue to make it go right over the course of parenthood. I've enjoyed this time in my life, or I'm enjoying parenting so much because my husband and I make it a really fun game. And we did accomplish a lot of what we wanted to accomplish before we had kids, which makes it really easy to spend the time enjoying them now. One thing that I've really enjoyed about being a parent is not only, having such a binary lifestyle that was so focused on my philanthropic purposes and my career and my work. It was a very like one track mindset. And now my husband and I really focus on balancing the kids or incorporating them into our goals. And it really just has made this sort of expansive, exciting life, as opposed to just feeling like you're only focused on one thing instead of a one track mind. But I think if I dropped everything that I cared about and that I worked for and only focused on the kids, that wouldn't have been good either. So I think the way to a super expanding dynamic or a super expanding successful life is really finding the balance in both. I remember when Stephen and I first got married, one of the next questions, like after we'd been married for 6 months, was, when are you going to have kids? And I can honestly say I'm so, so happy that we were together, like at least, gosh, it must be 10 years before we had children. And that was a super unconventional way to approach it. And we had so many people asking us, when are we having kids? When are we having kids? And honestly, I don't even think we knew we wanted kids at the time when we got married. But our journey together, growing together, learning like how to establish ourselves in marriage and what was our successful roles in our marriage, and getting ourselves established financially, getting in routines, building our dream home, building my office, really just laying all this framework, traveling everywhere we wanted to go, doing our bucket list items together. That's like one of the biggest, I think, actions that we've done that have made us successful. And if I had listened to, oh, hey, you're hit your mid 30s, you need to have kids, there's nowhere I would be, I'd be as happy as I am today, or as successful. So I can just say that I think listening to peer society and pressure is not the way to success. And success and happiness or building a family can be different for what you want and what your situation is. I have a friend who adopted a baby when she was 45 and she's not married, and she couldn't be happier with her son, and they're thriving. And that's an unconventional situation, but I think it's great for her. She has an awesome career that she balances. I've also seen a super career dad, one of my really good friends, have triplets out of the gate, and then his wife had another one and another one, and they're not like living on some grassy knoll somewhere in the Swiss Alps. Like, they live in town, they're, working business people, they have like 5 kids. So it's like, you can do, it doesn't have to be one way or the other. This is my advice for building a family and having a career your way. Create a schedule and structure, and make sure that everyone in your family runs by it. When it's complete anarchy and you're just basically doing whatever the kids want and appealing to every whim they have or every time they cry, it's a disaster. I have 3 babies at home. They all nap in the morning for several hours. They all nap in the afternoon for several hours. We feed them all at the same time. And that structure gives them predictability, gives us predictability, and saves a ton of time. Multitasking. I actually love multitasking. Everyone thinks multitasking is bad, but in some contexts, I think that it's very applicable. I'm not talking about being on your phone when you're having quality time with your kids, but I'm talking about having your children be incorporated into your life. An example, every morning, a couple mornings a week in the summer, I want to spend 30 minutes in my garden. I listen to a lecture or a podcast, and my children play with me in the garden while I'm doing that. So I'm not giving up something that's really important to me and kind of nice and sort of a spiritual way to start my day, but my children are there enjoying learning about gardening and playing in the dirt and having their outside time. I am pregnant right now. One of the ways I continue to exercise is by doing laps in our pool. I can easily put their little floaties on, put a hat on them. They're playing, splashing around. I'm doing my laps. I'm talking to them, but I'm making sure to get my workout in for the day. Those are just ways where I see people kind of just let their priorities fall off. And I think it's really important to just incorporate your children in the things that you want to do. Sometimes you can, depending on the situation, bring your child to work or meetings. I've done that before. They just fold into my life, and it's been very fulfilling. You have to create boundaries and protect your personal time. So one way I do that is I still do, go to my workout classes, and I just work that out in our schedule. It's not something I give up. That's my personal time to go do my workout and kind of get away. My husband and I very much have times of our week where it's set aside for us to do an activity, and that night we're not with the kids. The kids don't come in our room. That's a boundary that we've set, where we want our own personal space, and it's not littered with toys or gross bottles or throw up or something. It's like our personal sanctuary. So we've set a boundary there. Everyone's boundaries can be different, but it's important to have them. Create your family the way that you want to create it, and not the way that society tells you. You don't need to have 5 kids by the time that you're 30. You don't need to be married when you're 22 if you live in the South. Like, do what feels right to you and is going to help you achieve your goals. And obviously work with your partner and what their goals are, but you do not need to listen to your mother-in-laws. You don't need to listen to what society is saying or what television's telling you to build a successful family. It's what it is for you. I'm Mega Bell Epstein, and if you want to hear more about how I'm building a company and raising a family, watch this next video.